First of all, I would like to thank the world, and in full its Women Affairs League. In this case, the Muslim ladies, or maybe Women League in this region and in this university, for thinking it wise to at least have a session together so that we get to understand more of the Islamic dynamics when it comes to the position of a lady in Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve them with those good ideologies, ideas, and may you all that have decided to be part of this session, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala consider that into making your lives better. Allahumma ameen. Now, before I start, I have a question I want to throw to you before we proceed. How are you? It's supposed to be a personalized question. So possibly, should we get 3 or 4 ladies? 4, yes. It works. Like if you're given a chance and you're asked, as a university girl, as a woman in Uganda, a lady in Uganda, a girl in your social space, your family, your environment, how are you? Because as Africans, we are obsessed with I'm fine, because we even take it as a greeting. How are you? I'm fine. Now that's the question I have for you, genuinely. How are you? Who is ready to answer first? Huh? Yes. Yes, nenga muntu dewala. Eh? Entabe impozi zizitowa. Oh. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I would have been fine, like me, but I'm financially unstable. Meaning there is no way I am going to be fine when I'm broke.
Okay.
The moment I can't get the best needs I have, but there are some wants. Yeah, they are going to limit my freedom of being, like happiness. My happiness is limited.
So literally you're not fine because you're not financially stable.
I'm financially unstable.
Okay. MashaAllah. What amount makes you financially stable?
What account?
Yeah. Would you mention any amount that would possibly make you financially
there is
stable?
No, because money, like you can't get enough money. But
you have priorities that you can't get because of that limitation. Okay. Thank you. But besides that, you're fine.
I'm fine.
Okay. MashaAllah. Thank you. Who else? There is Gigi Neno Meeting. I want your responses to guide my session.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, for me, in the context of being fine, it's not all about being financially stable, because there is a time I thought so, and I had the money, but I was still depressed. You know, you have these societal pressures. You be there, I have the money, right? But I have a paper tomorrow. I have to come forward. I have a paper. I've not read. So that means this is not coming because of money. I have the money, right? But it's not helping me. Okay, something like that. Then another thing, we have the social circle we are in. You can be there, you have your personal problems, but you don't have anyone to talk to, because these people, if you talk to them, they either judge you, they don't care. They be like, no one is concerned, and that is what makes me maybe more depressed. You have everything you think you would have, but the social environment you're in is really
So as a Ugandan university girl, you're unfine because of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Environment.
MashaAllah. Thank you. Yes.
Good morning, all of you.
Sir.
For me, as I say, yes, I'm fine on reason that I'm getting education. And via education, that's the thing that will make the future bright. But on the other side, I'm not fine because of the society I'm living in. Because there is pressure at home, pressure at school. The environment is totally different.
What kind of pressure?
I may say, because at home, me personally at home, I am living with a stepmother who wants to take me like Mojawi. So there's that pressure there, like I cannot get anything that I need. The only thing I get is maybe education. Like some other things, I may not.
Fine. All will be well. You see how the question. It's okay, sister. Calm down. Can you still say something, or we just proceed?
I'm still saying.
Yeah.
And by that process, you find that as you have a child, it's so pestering. It's so pestering. Because you may even find that there's no one you have to tell your problems. They won't help you. But still, I'm getting education, everything at home. But there are some things that we don't get because of that pressure.
So basically, the education situation is designed and limited not to actually cater for such social challenges?
Yeah, like we get education, yes. But other things to get them, it's a tug of war from the parents because of that pressure. But he makes sure that he has given you the support. But although that love between you and the parent is so limited, someone who's trying to take it away from you.
Inshallah. Barakallah. Thank you, sister. Calm down, all will be well, inshallah. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For me, I would say that I'm fine, but then, like, my part of being fine is because a first daughter, like a first-born daughter, and that comes with a lot of responsibilities, a lot of sacrifices. Like, you have to sometimes sacrifice your happiness in order to create a right, like, picture for your siblings that follow you. It comes with a lot of, like, pressure, a lot of perfections. Like, parents expect you to be perfect, 100% perfect in everything. And, like, even most times when you don't want something, you have to do it because they want it, because you want to make them happy. And then, like, the other thing may be that Shay, you talk about is mental health awareness, because, like, it's not very common for Muslims or Sheikhs or Islamic preachers, yeah? Okay, like, we normally underlook that, but according to even what we've seen, it's like people are fighting battles inside that they can't even talk about, or sometimes they are even right people to hear their problems, but people don't. Okay, people are dying from inside, and yet even there could be right people that could help them. So I think you should talk about mental health awareness in Islam.
Barakallahu fikum. Barakallahu fikum. That's all, eh? Do you have anyone last one? Okay. Barakallahu fikum. Now, the reason why I asked you that question, because I knew the audience I'm going to have a discussion with. When did someone genuinely ask you that? When last did someone ask you that question genuinely? I'm getting it from what the sisters have shared with us. Yes, maybe we stay, we live day by day, today, month, weeks. Do you really have someone that cares, that is going to just genuinely ask you, how are you? To just try to help you out in case there is a problem. Now, the objective of me asking you that, it's because I know it's a reality we are living, and you're the mothers of tomorrow, you're the sisters of today, the daughters of today, and I think it's something we really have to put more emphasis on. Now that's why I want to dedicate today's session, or our session today, to give this confidence within you as a girl child, as not even a fan of using that girl child, because as a lady in making, to at least put this confidence within you. The society is designed not to directly care about your situation, even though the whole realities might be like everyone cares about you. But sincerely speaking, it's your own battle, and you find ways of going through it. Now, I understand everyone has a story to tell. And trust me, I'm not buying it saying I'm fine and I'm fine and I'm fine. You're not fine, definitely. Neither am I. No one is fine. But if you're with us here and you're not, you're not fine, matter of fact. And that's why you basically say you're fine, because that's what the public wants. I'm fine to get a maso. I'm fine to get a maso, but you are not fine. The other issue is, even when you're not fine, you're not going to tell everyone, because you're not sure. Are they going to be in position to help you out or not? Maybe some people are just going to listen, and then they will use that information against you. So you're not fine, but even where you're going to get help from, you have to battle the possibility that if at all they dare use it against you, that would be the end of you. Now let's just spice up the moment by discussing the relevancy of you. How vital is your position in our society, most especially as Muslims? Because Islam gave this background of respecting you with all the titles you take up as ladies. The titles are, you're a daughter, you're a sister, thirdly, you're a wife, and then lastly, you're a mother. Now, each of those titles, Islam put emphasis onto them to make sure every lady, every Muslim lady, even a lady that isn't Muslim, but they would like to tap into this wisdom, they take it up to understand how valuable they are, and to make matters worse, it's you that is contributing to your own disrespect. I'm not sure whether everyone now, gone are days where your presence would be enough for morality to be in check. It's today where that is now past. Even when brands are trying to market, they're trying to sell out their stuff, they would prioritize your naked body onto a drinking bottled water for advertisement. Now that basically means society has got to this level of using you to make sure your respect is down. The same society is campaigning for you to just undress off, take off your respect. That's why it is very possible for someone not to be respected as a daughter, even when Islam put that respect onto you. That's why, even when you're a sister, it's not even adding up, like you're not even basically respected as one. Now, how many ladies are prioritized to be respected as wives? Now that is also attacked. And possibly there might be factors of our young girls contributing to the fact that they're not going to be respected in these angles. And fourth, how many of you are respected because you're mothers? Because today, it's only today that we are seeing a mother that is training their offspring, omwana gwazadde, nga amuyigiriza mpisa mbi, amwonoona, amwekuliza, not even training them to be responsible citizens of tomorrow. Now that has started these centuries, maybe the 20th and the 21st century. You won't find that in the 7th, in the 10th, not even years, centuries back. It basically means you're losing out as ladies, and things are going to just get worse year by year, day by day. Because society is just inducing you to make sure that respect you own is off you. Just check the mainstream media now. Daughters of people, sisters of people, mothers of people, wives of people. Every drive has it as an objective. Mwemweyanike, abasajja banyumirwe, we muswala. Now Islam comes to remind you that you are a respected citizen. Now let me take you through every title. One day Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ibn Abbas narrates to us, Prophet prioritized reminding you how valuable you are, how important you are. Now, even when any drive comes up, any campaign comes up, please never at one point think Islam is closing doors for you. Wallahi, it would be unfair for you to think of Islam like that. And if you're saying that, it basically means toina chomanyi ku Busilamu, keep just quiet. Kubanga Islam empowered you. The only difference is the empowerment of Islam, it empowers you, keeping your modesty levels in touch, keeping your respect uncompromised. That's the respect Islam believes in when it comes to empowering a lady. The other styles of empowerment, what does it mean? Empowering you to make sure you're competing with men, which is impossible. Different dimensions. We had that discussion, I remember. Tekisoboka, like you can only be a queen in your own world. If you bring in men, bitagade. Just shine in your dimension. You have just enough to shine there. Now these whole drives, men, influencers are longing into making sure your respect is down. And to make matters worse, you're feeding that negative energy onto your own selves. And that's why you're not earning any respect. Even when you stand and you're around men, no one is pitiful of you. No one is going to basically respect you. It's only today where you're going to find a pregnant lady standing in a bus. I'm speaking as a Ugandan. We are getting to a level of a man not at least getting up for you to get a seat. It's like you're putting in that competition. Now, is that healthy for you? It isn't. Now, that's why Prophet, one day, he was marching with the companions in that narration, Ibn Abbas. Nafuna akati, natandika okusaza. Kyeki mu Luzungu ekyo okusaza? Munyambeko. Okusaza, 3 lines. Ruling. Tekitagaddemu awo. Ruling kwe kusaza, kale kivudde mu ruler. But you've understood. Like he's moving, nasaza 3 lines. 4 lines. And then he asked the companions. He was like, Atadruna ma hadha? My companions, do you know what I've just drew luzungu lutuufu draw ni drew. Yes, kyenkubye kino mukimanyi. The companions were like, Allahu wa rasuluhu a'lam. We have no clue. It's only you and Allah that might be having that knowledge. Prophet was like, Hunna afdalu nisa'i ahli al-jannah. Wa fi riwaya sayyidat ahli al-jannah. Prophet was like, these 4 lines that I've just demonstrated here, they are reflecting the 4 queens of paradise, who are ladies, and the 4 personalities in a woman, female context. If you want to be respected as a daughter, as a wife, as a sister, and as a mother, you're not going to look away from these 4 ladies, and that's what I want us to discuss today. The first lady was Khadija bint Khuwailid. She happens to be an effective mother, an effective business lady, and an effective wife. Actually, the respect Khadija had, it was like Prophet wanted every Muslimah, every women drive, every women campaign to make sure it is kept in the same line of you not losing that respect. Now, do you know how valuable Khadija is? Because every lady we are going to mention is powerful and they are already in Jannah. Khadija had characteristics that actually put her at this level that every lady can't get to that level. Now, she was an effective mother and she was loved by the Prophet a lot. Even with the reality that she was slightly older than the Prophet. Now it's a big challenge. To you it doesn't add up, but it's the first love story you have in Islam, which is too perfect because of what put them together. It is narrated that Khadija bint Khuwailid, even with the fact that she was alive, she had a chance to witness some bit of Jahiliyyah period, but even with that reality, she wasn't compromised by that period. How many of young girls are not compromised by the trends today? Twakkaanya nti mukyangu nnyo. Someone has just generated a trend, tetumanyi ntegeera yategeera atya, tetumanyi yasomera wa. You find our innocent, understanding young girls falling victims like slaves into those trends. Now, Khadija bint Khuwailid was a lady that had a chance to live in that life, but she wasn't in position to get affected directly by that situation. How many of you are keeping that respect for you, even with the possibility of you getting lost? Because trust me, today, our society is sexualized. If you want to get immoral, you're only a step away. Now, you have to invest a lot into just making sure you are a good girl, a good lady in making. And the first beneficiary out of you being good is you, because these are your titles. Now that was Khadija. Because of her, she was loved, and that's why Prophet never even thought of marrying another lady in her presence. Ayaramusinga obukulu. Kubanga olwokuba muli bannayuganda mumulowooza buli akula aba mukadde n'endabika ye ebeera bwetyo bwetyo. She was a very beautiful lady, and Prophet loved her to an extent that even when she passed on, he continued doing some stuff in discipline, in respect of his gone wife. And that is Khadija bint Khuwailid. Now, chances are high you might not be respected as a wife because you've not invested into being a good one. Okay, for just a moment, forget about the men story. Men treat you bad, men are evil, men are that. Okay, who are you? Maybe you're treated in an evil way because you're also one. And how do you even get attracted to an evil person if you're not one? Now Islam is giving you this confidence. Okumanya nabbi yayagala omukyala oyo, even when she died, the co-wives were too much having that jealous ennugu ebbuba onto the deceased eyefiiredda. Because Prophet had a tendency of getting a goat once in a while, slaughtering it, and trying to distribute to friends of Khadija that were still alive in the name of his wife. Now one day Aisha, because she was the youngest, and she went to the Prophet. She was like, why do you keep doing that? Khadija is a deceased. Now. But it was too much onto Aisha. It's like she wasn't even reading this from the Prophet doing it to them, but he's busy doing it to the fallen. Aisha made a statement and she was like, aren't you aware that Allah created us, brought us in our lives to make sure Khadija is not, like, to replace Khadija? Immediately after saying that, Prophet changed the face. And he was like, Ma abdalaha Allahu bikunna. Allah never replaced Khadija with you. That is a wrong statement. Now Prophet started giving out the reason as to why he is valuing a deceased wife, a dead wife, even with the reality that waliwona abalam. The first reason is Khadija bint Khuwailid wasatni yawma lam yakun hunaka ahad yuasini. This was a lady that was with me in my early days in marriage. She was ready to put her back to just see me safe. Like he knew that he had a genuine wife that is going to do that, and she did that, and that's why the love is still on, flourishing, even with the fact that Khadija is gone. Chances are high you're not going to be that because of the factors, the belief systems, our different cultures are not training you into being a genuine wife. Actually, before you even step in marriage, you're biased already. Even your husband is also biased about you. Now, biased plus biased, taboo in marriage. Failing marriages every now and then. And the second point was, Prophet was like, that lady you want to demean, my wife Aisha, is the lady that made me a father. In other words, she's the mother to his kids. You don't want to give birth. Now everything like that would make you be respected in that angle is something you're running away from. Now Prophet is actually trying to bring out these statements because today it's only a young girl today that finds this whole motherhood story, that if we had chance of being pregnant, it just doesn't sit well with me. You're not proud of the fact that you can give birth. Do you know what it means okuleta omwana mu dunia and you invest into seeing them disciplined? That is the power Allah gave you on a natural pace. You're not proud of that. Even when you're making your campaigns, you're like, dunia tetwagala. That's why we are not even going to be mothers, because everything is not favoring us into being mothers. Come on, the fact that you can give birth, that alone is power for you as a lady. And that's what Prophet is making as mention to Aisha. Namugamba omukyalo nno yanfuula mama, yanfuula tata. Tata in a way that she groomed the kids to respect the dad. She groomed the kids even with the fact that they might be having wrangles. It wasn't put within the kids. Abaana ne bakula. nga bamanyi taata waabwe gwe mulamwa. Chances are high you're not going to be that. Kuba gwe omwana omutandikirawo watandikira okwogera waati ku myaka egi notandika omugamba nti taatawo sinnaku zino simutegeera. Nakugamba maama nga sikutegeera ne weegumya ne campaigns zammwe. You know, as a woman, we have to talk with our kids. Ate I talk to who? No so omwana ebintu ebimusuka amagezi ge. What? Why are you making your own kids confidence at an early stage? Eyo ebeera tabu y'amaanyi. You're putting this kid in a situation akwagala ne taata wa amwagala. Kyokka muganya okwekyawa. Kati olumaliriraawo oyogera ku muntu gw'oteekyaye naye ebintu ebibi. Ate olw'eggulu oyagala amufukamirire ng'amukola ki? Now, the prophet is basically making mention of this and he was like, no. If you think Allah brought you my other wives to replace Khadija, think again. Because she's a lady that made me a proud father, I can't forget that. Now, how many ladies today, possibly you're not here, but how many ladies today are respected because they're being effective mothers to the kids? Nga ne bbaawe akimanyi abaana obatendeka butamwagala. And now, do you really think naye ajja kutuulaawo bw'akirowoozeeko nti let me respect my wife because anzaalidde ku baana abatamwagala? Definitely no, it doesn't add up. Bamala mwagala ne bamurespectinga n'amanya nti oh yeah, my lady is doing justice to my kids. Now that is what being an effective mother is. Nabbi bw'atyo bwe yayagala mukyala we Khadija. Aisha teyakoma nno naawo n'agenda ewa muwala we Fatima n'amugamba nti your father might be mentioning your late mother a lot here. Don't even think you're too much superior. Buba, I want to remind you that your father, my husband, the prophet, married me as a virgin. That is Aisha saying. Married me as a virgin, and he married your mother as a matron. A matron basically meaning omukyala yaliko mu bufumbo ne buggwawo because Khadija was yali namwandu. Ayisaawo layini nti I am superior because your mother, prophet married your mother Khadija as a matron and he married me as a virgin. Now Fatima, that was not good news to her. She marched to the prophet as a daughter. She was like, Father, Mama Aisha has told me that my mother was married as a matron and you married her as a virgin. Because she was even crying. That's when prophet was like, Maladhi yubkik, why are you shedding tears? She was like, my mother has been disrespected. Atariwo. Because she wasn't even alive. My mother is disrespected. Now, after Fatima narrating everything that Mama Aisha is like, my mother was a matron by the time you married her, and you married Aisha as a virgin, fatabassama an-nabi. Prophet smiled. And he comforted the daughter. He was like, no, Fatima, that's the reality. Mama Aisha has said the right fact. I married your mother as a matron, and I married Aisha as a virgin. But please go and tell Aisha, your mother, next time, also educate her. Let her know that I married Khadija, your mother, when I was a virgin, and I married Aisha when I'm not a virgin. Now, it was the same statement used, just reverse psychology, taken back to Aisha. It was then that when Aisha had that from Fatima, from the prophet, that's when Aisha stopped belittling Khadija, the late. Namuvaako nadda ku bibi kyetwogerako mukyala taliiwo. Now, how many of us are copying those stories from Khadija? Mwe kyemukopa ku Khadija kubeera empowered mu ssente kyokka. Do you know what it means to be financially stable and empowered, but you're still an effective wife? chances are high the society is not training you to be that. You're going to fail at that. Kubanga society yaffe olw'okuba obwavu bungi n'obutasoma bungi n'okusoma bwe kuba nga weekuli okutegeera abantu bye basomye naye otabbu eri awo, we have made everything narrow onto income, finances. Does it add up to you to be financially empowered but you're poor as a mother? Definitely no. Because of that, oyiribye ne sente, ofunye sente, ozifunye, which is okay. But there is also something that is going to comfort you when you're 50. Those are your kids. Now, how many people are regretting because they never had this guidance? Now, that is Khadija bint Khuwailid. Let's copy lessons from her. Get empowered, which is very okay. Get the career, it is very okay. But be conscious. Know your priorities. It is not a battle. You can still have a career. It is just hectic. Have your career, pursue it, but at the same time, remember your role as a mother. Because if you're an effective mother, even when you are not appraised at work, you're respected in the society. If you fail as a mother with that capability of being one, neobo ine bizimbe. Ngabana benyini bakumanyira. Ask around. Lwaki ntagala namwe. Ask around people who are good at finances and they were failures as mothers. Now that was Khadija bint Khuwailid. Let's copy lessons from her. It's only today where mumutuuka n'okutandika okuvuma bajjajja bammwe nti baali bakyala bakadde ebyayo byaggwako, backward in a way because they never had offices like you have. Those grandmothers oba ani abateekamu nti bo baali tebakola mmwe be mukola kituufu okukola kwe baali bakola. What do you expect working was in early 90s? Do you think it's the same working today? Definitely no. Balina engeri gye baali bakolamu ebyabwe. Kati mukukola mumanyi okwo kufuna mulimu na kufuna musaala okwo toyina okukola kutayingiza kw'omanyi. And when you're economists, you'll get to a point of even learning tosobola n'okuba ng'olina omulimu n'omusaala naye ng'amazima oli mwavu because you don't even have social capital. Kati they were social capital queens. Buli kyayagala kimutuukako kubanga ali well coordinated, amaanyi agajjamu ekyo Allah kyeyamukola kyeyamuwa. Now that was Khadija bint Khuwailid as the first queen of you all in paradise. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course you're not going to be Khadija, but the reason as to why we go through them osobola okuba ng'ofuna ku bitiibwa ng'ebyo. The second one was Fatima bint Khuwailid, bint Muhammad. Fatima was a daughter to the Prophet. A daughter in a way that she was raised as a dutiful daughter. Now, biology ayina gyabikolamu nti the connection between Fatima and the father probably is the reason as to why she was elevated in that position. Ye yali omwana that started taking care of her father, the Prophet, at the age of 7. Dutiful in a way nti yali tannaba kumanya by'ayina kufuna ng'amanyi by'ayina okukola. It is the same principle batagaza mmwe. By'olina okukola tobirowoozanga nako. Naye by'olina ofuna tusula wano ng'obiŋŋamba. Now that entitlement eyo tomanyi kyebakozemu because gy'okoma okusuubira by'olina okufunibwa be balina okukukolera, you're widening the scope of expecting. No one has ever exaggerated in expecting okujjako nga bamumenya omutima. Fact. the more you expect, the more you're disappointed. So what you're supposed to do is to just lessen your expectation. That's where peace is. Never tabachamula chamulebi. Naye kati buli ayagala okwogerako nammwe achamula buchamuzi. Abakyala balina obbawa kino, abakyala balina obbawa kino, balina n'obbasitula mukko, balina n'obbawa ku ssente, museka, balina n'okola bwe bati. It is okay. Naye byonna tebinyuma kukolera muntu atamanyi kyalina kukola. Kati your queens, you're too much informed ku bye balina obbakolera. N'abasajja bamuwe batyo nno. Bamanyi nnyo bwe mulina obbakola ki. It is a confused generation. Imwe muli wano, you're pressurizing men ku bye balina obbakolera. Even men are there, they are pressurizing you ku bye mulina okukola ki. No one is focusing in their docket. Goina kukola ki. Now Fatima was kind of different. Prophet trained Fatima at 7 years. Nga akawala kamanyi kye kalina okukola at that. That's where the bond comes. Like she was an effective daughter in that case. Ayina kibagambyeko dda. That's why the Prophet also was like, mulina ebitiibwa by'abazadde bammwe. The reputation of your father and mother is within you. Kyokola wano kyanseeza hayi. Oyinza okumma taata wejjana. Nabbi nno yagamba nti if a parent focuses on to a daughter n'amulera bulungi n'akulanga ggwe nno nga you still morally upright n'otuuka n'okufumbirwa nga you're not compromised, that alone is a reason for your father and mother to be with the Prophet in Jannah kahatain nga baliwe bati, because it is not easy to raise you sinti olw'okuba muli bafujjo nnyo, but because of the surrounding w'oba okulira gwe batandika ddi okukwana si mupise bene olowooza oba nkisusizzaamu kisusizzaamu wali abatandikira mu P7. True or false? True. Even in secondary waliwo teacher ku ssomero eyali akutawanya akusomesa kyokka akutawanya. True or false? Do you really think it doesn't affect you? Taata wo taliiwo asasudde fees oli ku ssomero kyokka ate omusomesa yalowooza oli safe, omusomesa akutandiseeko. Ovudde ku ssomero, you're now at campus. Ebweru wokka wa boda akuvuga ow'okudduuka ogenze gula buguzi yogurt naye ow'okudduuka naye akutandiseeko. Now it is hard to raise you. In the Ugandan context, taata wo waafusalawo n'agamba nti no. As a girl, sikwagala bweru nga zisusse essaawa emu kuba akimanyi. Ne bakuwaga. Women rights saawa emu ziba zikyali, lwaki batumalira obudde, lwaki my brother ye akomawo nnya ate kati nze saawa emu taata wange tanjagala. Olowooza nga mwana atali muzadde tomorrow. Naye nga taata akimanyi nti okukwagala n'obutakwagala has nothing to do in this sexualized society. Gy'onaasanzira ne ba ogu oba agu gw'obudde buzibe nga you're already at home. Okola ki ebweru ng'omwana omuwala? Why don't you drive that title of being an effective daughter ng'ogijja ku Fatima balina connection y'amaanyi ne taata we? Naye ate okumanya it is sensitive. Maybe you're not going to have that chance today because of this whole confusion. Maybe your father is not a guided one. Tuli bize tukwegayirira bambi yagala taata wo otandikirewo okumwagala nga talinawo. Ekyo kitandise ku mirembe gyaffe wano. Way back, even when your father and mother were not together, it was a responsibility of parenting you ng'ebagatta. Obusungu buno obwa X baabuzanga ku mabbali. They knew you were treasurers. Balina okugyamu omuntu. Kati olwaleero it is a confused thing now. Maama wo ne taata wo tebakwatagana. Ate wakoma okulaba taata wo ng'oli muto tolina na nnamba ye kuba obusungu bulina bungi kwani. Now chances are high, possibly even when you want to be an effective daughter to your father, you're deprived from that. Now it becomes worse when you have him. Nenga mazima gani nti all you do to him is kumuswaza. When Prophet is giving out Fatima okumuvaako amangu olwakadde, giving her out to Ali okumuwasa, omanyi statements nabbi ze yakozesa? Yagamba nti Ali, I'm giving you my daughter, please know ilam annaha bid'atun minni, kimanye nti Fatima oyo, she's part of me, the Prophet. Like he is owning the daughter now. Akimanyi muwala wange tasobola kunswaza. Bwe tukwata kula ne tuwa taatawo, asobola okulayira nti tasobola muswaza? Are you sure? Akwekengera actually, just takutegera butegeezi naye akimanyi. Omwana ono nyinza okuteekayo omukono ng'amazima gali nti yakoze eki. We have parents who don't know us to a level ogusango ne we gujja nga bagukwogerako kubanga wakulira mu bisulo, takumanyi ate naawe okimanyi takukola ki, takumanyi, asinga okutegeera class teacher wo. Bakupaatiiseeko ogugambo, osuubira taatawo ne mama wo okuyirawo omubiri, bagambe nti akaana kaffe nammwe mulimbe okujjawo mulina obujulizi mu butulageeko naye tasobola kukola ki. Baba bakakikwogerako yasooka okukkiriza nti kituufu, omwana oyo namulaba, nasudiya mu busudiya, namulaba omwana oyo, namulaba omwana oyo, namulaba omwana oyo. Taata nno yakola ebyo. Naye ku bufumbo, you even force your fathers okubalimbirira nga babawayo mu bufumbo because they know otagadde eno before akwejjako bwijja, please get married, naye akufuneko copy, vaayo wano okole ki. But Prophet was like, Ali, you're taking my daughter, but please know that her happiness is in me. Bw'omusanyusanga manya nti nange nkoze eki. When she is sad, just know I'm also sad. Now those were beautiful statements from a father ku musajja agenda omutwalira ani. Does your father really mean that when he's saying that to the man? Yamumanyi nomumumanyi? Because it is today where your father is going to first interact with the man ku lunaku nga akutwala. True or false? Because you were in Uganda, your man went to Senga, Senga took the letter, and now they are going to go there in Kwanjula. There is also Nika. Your father is seeing your man, father to your kids, and his grandkids for the first time and last mumuvire. Chances are high, even being a daughter who is respected, society egenze ekijjawo. May Allah make you those. Temwejjaako bitiibwa ebyo. The other lady was Asiya binti Muzahim. Asiya was a wife to Firaun, but she was not compromised with the evilness of Firaun. Kyenjagadde okumukoppako. Just because your man is evil, it doesn't make you one. Wabye mwenna kye mwogera, oyina ettima naye walijja mu basajja bwe bakuyisiza mu bingi. Naye nga olina okubeera maama ate. Olw'okuba ssebo, you have to have that skill nti omusajja kale you were unserious n'ofuna omusajja atategeera. You don't take that to the kids ate. That was Fatima. The environment yo amanya Asiya. The environment yali ya Firauna, the tyrant yali asinga obubi. She had the possibility, the ability of managing that kireme kumukosa ye nga ye because of the husband who is evil. Now, how many of you have that ability? Twagala tuwire empowerment nga yeyo. Because you're not just properties that are owned. Nti mugoberera bugoberezi mulinga sepiki gye bali mu kwokya nti omuliro kasa gukwata. Oba kiki gigende bugenze mu maaso. There is a possibility that today when you're having a man who is unserious, chances are high they are unserious. So what if they are unserious? You become failures as mothers because of that. You become irresponsible ladies because of that. Mwekwasa bwekwasa namwe, but you also contribute to that. wabanga omusajja tali serious muleke tali serious muviire. Become useful in what you're good at. This is what we get from Asiya binti Muzahim. The last one was Maryam, the mother of Prophet Isa. She was the only virgin lady mukaserake. Actually, that's why she was locked up, to make sure she wasn't compromised. Akaseera nno we yakulira ng'abasajja beesonga bwesonzi kwebaka na muwala n'abawala. Mumanyi enkoko? Ekoko. Koko yenkoko ensajja? Enkazi yeki? What happens when the cock and hen want to do biology? Bateesa. The cock just chases. The levels of immorality then kata zitandike kufaanana ngezo. Where a man is just basically chasing a lady, wamufuna nga kiggwa ng'anoonyayo n'omulala like that. So that's why Maryam was also fenced into a room asobole okuba nga tali compromised in that situation. Now the credit from her story is society pressures, just like the sister was saying. Society pressures zo zigenda kubeerawo, but please don't let it blow out your candle of being a good person. Please don't do that. Kubanga ziri family pressures, because our family entity was attacked. Chances are high kubanga tata ne mama tebakwataganye, but you're their daughter anyway. Ate omukolo gutuuse tomanyi oba tata ayagala omuvubuka, mama amuganye, ye mugenda gukolerawa, birimu n'eddogo. Family etagadde. It is also pressure. This is your living now. It shouldn't compromise you. And this is the guidance Islam wants to give you. Now that one tradition alone, ekuwa foundation ng'omuwala. You guys are empowered and respected. It takes me to a principle that if at all you're not respected as a daughter, chances are high you might not be respected as a sister. And if at all you're not respected as a sister, whoever calls you a sister, chances are high you might not be being a good wife. That's the equation. And if at all you respect as a wife, you're not even basically respected as a wife, you're not going to be an effective mother. Kubanga omusajja agenda kulekera olubuto toyina ssente. You think of those titles in that angle. Now, okubeera obubeezi mama, okubeera obubeezi. Let me stress on being wife and mother now, because this is your primary role. Obamba jereze obomba. Is your primary role. Bameka kumwe abatagala kuzaala. How many of you want to be mothers tomorrow? Muwanise just temutidde kuswala oba mukitegeeza. But do you know what being a mother means? Huh? How many of you want to be effective working ladies? Have you had a discussion of how to be an effective working lady and how to be an effective mother? Do you have that discussion? Mugenda biteesezaawo ebyo byo. Temulabanga ng'abawala mulina okutuulamuko wansi. How are you going in the Ugandan context? Mugenda kubeera kutya bamaama abalungi eri abaana ng'ate we mukola. Because it is today okubanga n'abaana temubawa budde. Ate nga naawe okimanyi. Tonnamufuna naye sebo weesunze okumujja ku bbeere emyezi eddeki. Esatu. Do you know how hard that is now? You don't have those serious discussions. Ate nga reality ejja ogenda fuuka maama ate nga olina omulimu. Ani agenda obbi bayitiramu ebyo byo. Siri mukyala kuba nyinza mba simanyi experience eyo. Don't you really think you need to sit down just find ways of how are you going to be an effective mother and an effective lady at work and at the same time an effective wife. Kubanga if you're working, bawa alina okuba ne discipline eyejjako ebimu ku byalina okukolebwa. Like rights alina ozzikendeeza kubanga to just meet that you're working. Be basajja kati olwaleero. Akimanyi oli ku university okusoma busawo, definitely ogenda kukola as a doctor somewhere, as a nurse somewhere, or maybe a profession or a business, kyonna kyekiri ogenda kukola. Now, a man knows, alina okwekendeezaako. Oluusi akomewo ng'emmere teriiwo, mugule buguzi chips, mulye. Naye ng'ate oli mu kukola, the responsible man in him tagenda kukuyombesa kubanga akulaba okoze eki okooye, naye munda kimulya. Kuba gy'atambulira mu banne emboozi actually basajja banne balina ne juice mu mmotoka zaabwe kyokka gye mikwano gye kati emboozi tagenda giggamba tate manyi mukyala wange bannange eri abaakufaako kuba competition, unnecessary competition. Kati okubeera obubeezi effective wife nti bawa akurespecting as a wife, okubeera effective mother nti abaana balina ne ku budde bwo bakumanyi mu picture nti oli maama waabwe, okubeera obubeezi effective worker ku mulimu with being effective here kikalubamu bantu mmwe. That is a serious discussion of your league today. Atayagala bufumbo tolabanga oba osigaza bibiri byokka, atayagala bufumbo gwoli fine just olina kuyiriba na mulimu gwo yata abaana ogenda bafu note kale katugambe nti okozeyo obwenzi nofunayo omwana w'omu nosigala mu bulamu bwo n'omukozi wo, naye omuntu ali morally upright kizibuwalamu. At the end result you end up being a failure as a wife. Musajja n'akuvaako n'okyawa abasajja kyokka akulekedde abaana n'osigala n'abaana ne ku mulimu it's now a lot. Olina okunoonya omukozi abeere n'abaana. Kati abaana bakula tebakumanyi kuba abaana mu buto baatakinga nnyo naawe. You only have 15 years for your kid okubanga akurespectinga. 15 nyenze na nnyo 10 ku 5 awo alina okukumanya nti gwe maama. Actually ku ebiri simanye esatu 5 awo ng'akuyina mu picture bw'ayingira step ey'okubiri 6 7 8 10 budde bwo bwakubanga weeyagala kasita asukka 10 eno 11 ojja kusoma busomiddwa naye takuyinamu muki olina kugenda bugenzi wa Allah ogambe nti ai Allah why my son and daughter nga tetuconnectinga. It is a challenge of your times. Temwagala kuyonsa baana, temubawa budde, mutukuliza abaana batategeera, abaana tebalowooza, abaana si bampisa, abaana mubeekuliza, abaana babyejo. Bw'okuza omwana nga mulenzi, omwana omukuziza omulenzi omukuza nga muwala. Kyokka bw'abeera taata naye omwana ng'akuza muwala, omwana muwala amukuza nga mulenzi. Lwaki tebakoze bisiyaga abo? Now it is too disturbing, but try to be effective mothers. Muteekeewo ku bintu ebyo musobole okwagala emirundi esatu kubaki kati kyaleero ndowooza ne nabbi singa abadde akyali mulamu hadisi yandikyuseemuko agambe nti abasajja nno kisoboka n'abasajja lwaki abaana bo baagala nnyo taata waabwe okusinga ggwe? And you're smiling. Tolabanga otandise obeera failure as a mother. Of course waliwo stage kale bayinza okumwagalira ennyo naye lubeerera. As a mother you have to be a tough one kubanga basiiba nnyo naawe. You have to not be too much tough because they are emotional also. Mental health matters. Toyagala mwana wato aveeko psychological issues because of a mother. So you love hate discipline, love hate discipline, love hate discipline. If you overlove, oba onoona. If you overhate, oba onoona. If you overdiscipline, era oba onoona. You moderately balance now. Ekyo si kya mwana atakirowoozezaako. Bad news is temulina na costume tekisomesa. muli mu maafi, muli mu kubala bitabo, muli mugira bwe mugira bwe muti, mugatta chemistry, mukola bwe muti, naye nga kino ekyammwe kibakoze eki? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to the best. Allahumma ameen. And then the other issue is, after being the mother, ekitiibwa ekyokubiri ekya wife. Prepare yourself to being a good wife. In that saloon, trying to get that touch, you're looking for your co-wives when those ones are there. Don't you find that disrespectful? It is, definitely. It is not, Islam doesn't train you to only prioritize biology, to make sure your man, because that is what a sexualized society has trained you. Please, so long as you are available, just make sure you put on like at night, make sure you drink this one, eat this one. Come on. Marriage is beyond that. The way you're treating someone has a lot to do with the way you're going to be treated. Because of that reality, you're losing out as being effective wives. What is even your role as a wife? How many young girls have trained themselves to just actually comfort someone who is not fine? And how are you going to be a peace giver if you don't know? Who is even going to teach you? You have a discussion with your fellows. You're going to get married to a major. Major, mumaje. It basically means they are soldiers. Do you have the art to calm him down? Or the only art you have is to spice up his wrath? Allahu Akbar. That's why you're not respected as wives. Because the objective of being a wife is also lost. You get lost into minor stuff discussions. Washing plates, cooking supper, ironing. Those are minor discussions. Reality will teach you the hard way. What are your discussions, Ndala? Does your man respect you as someone, as a partner in marriage? If you go away, what is your man missing besides bed? Even that bed is going to be attacked because of whatever treatment you're giving him. Because a man, from the Islamic wisdom, responds a lot onto the built treatment to the way he's going to treat you. Now, it is not a position. Islam is not training you to just be respected because of the fact that you procreate together. You exceed that. Nga naye bw'otagenda kurespectinga musajja eyeebaka bwebasi naawe nga takuprovidingira. Do you respect them? Definitely no. So the whole biology story, the whole bedroom story, it is supposed to be there because you're adults. But because you're in marriage, it is also going to be attacked because mwikyekibagatta kyokka. Now, why would your man miss you, your relevancy? Your man is always happy when he's away from you. Because temwete, you don't even understand each other. And you claim you're in marriage. You're unserious to a level that you don't know how to be an effective wife. You're waiting for the sengas bakuwemule to speak vulgar to you. You're waiting for the uncles to also do the same. Your source of information is TikTok and YouTube. And now you want to treat your man like someone who has said that men are treated like that. Not even investing into knowing who is your man. Are you sure Acholi men are just like Baganda men? Is a Muganda man like a Mugisu man? That stereotyping is making you like ineffective wives. Now, your friend is having an Acholi man, and you're having a Muganda man. you're now discussing, men, we treat men like this, we treat men like, it is actually an Buganda. That is a big difference. Learn your man to just be an effective. Concluding, I would like to wind up by empowering you, sisters. Please take up your roles with pride. Yes, don't let this whole gender crisis affect your power center. Yes, be groomed into being good mothers, being good ladies, because you're the mothers of the nation. Yes, because of your presence, we are assured of tomorrow. We are assured of some Arabic saying is like, when you educate and you elevate, you equip a lady, a girl with relevant information, relevant guidance, you're educating a generation. Because they're going to be mothers and they're going to just drive that to their kids. Why are you doing education as a course? And you can't even teach A, B, C, D, alphabetical letters to your kid. What's Omerachi? It would make sense that if you're empowered and you have a bachelor's degree in education for 3 years, you've learned from primary, secondary, for 3 years, you still pay an M to a kindergarten situation. Sing with your son and daughter, teach them your saruna, let them go and relate, because in kindergarten they are down, all they do is social values, because you don't have time, there are kids there, don't abuse, don't do that. Take them to your other fellow kids, to your brothers and sisters, let them learn that. You're an education graduate, you don't know that. Now, why did you even get education? A doctor in making. You can't even doctor your own kids effectively. You don't know what your kid needs to eat for breakfast, eating for lunch. That's all is being an effective mother. To just make sure your kid is not going to get malnutrition, and getting to know what are they supposed to eat at what time. This is now enough. Like, this is all your box. You don't know. But you're a doctor. You're being appraised at the hospital as the dietitian. And your kids are suffering malnutrition. These are mothers already. I'm talking this one because I have cases. And then you're like, why did you even go to school if you can't just bring this knowledge to this to make sure you're shining? Now, every course, but course is a one, business management and administration. You can't even administer just one double-housed environment. Just managing your home, like, okay, my home needs to look nice. My home, it has to be like this. It has to smell like this. It has to, just that. You're poor there and you want to shine outside. And then you want this husband of yours to respect you. Oh, my wife has a bachelor's degree in management. My wife has a bachelor's degree in business administration. When you can't basically administer something in the house, if you combine the efforts, don't you really think you're going to flourish more? Exactly, you're going to flourish more. Now that's when you're attaining whatever you're attaining, making sure you mix it up with these roles. Your teachers, your friends, your whole friends are teachers. As you give birth, they're also giving birth. Instead of wasting time, your kids getting away from you, teach them. Sit down as your friends who are education graduates. Make a simple syllabus and teach them. Good enough, your whole secular story doesn't have this whole bidia controversial stuff. Do that. Then let other people take kids to nursery. Do you know what happens in kindergarten? Of course, I'm not campaigning any kindergarten story because maybe you're put in that situation to take them there. From 7, or actually not even 7, from 8 to 9, possibly singing moko because it is kumacha. they eat break at 9, at 10. The principle there is, if the kid is tired, bed. Even the beds are there. Bed. Now, this world is full of business. They know there are some parents that are unserious. A parent that's going to leave a 2-year-old offspring to the kindergarten because they are going to work. No, that is a business idea, definitely. Open up a kindergarten, bring your kid, you pay an M, you come back in the evening and you take the kid. Even tomorrow you bring like that, you take. But it might affect your kid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us that understanding. Give your roles power, give your roles energy. That's how you're empowered and respected. Make sure you're respected as a daughter. Make sure you're respected as a sister. Try your level best. And make sure you don't make mistakes not to be respected as wives. Don't sleep around when you're not married. Yeah, you're contributing to your own disrespect. Yeah, you're being disrespected because you're easily accessible. Good enough men are not here, but Baba Nyoma, you disrespect yourself in that angle. Because when you sleep with a man, he's gaining and you're losing. You need commitment before someone gets access to you. Security, assurance. Now that's why they're even finding pride into being single. Because what married people do, they have access to that. Now at least you want to be assured that you're respected in an angle. You don't let a man get to you. Okujja konga, at least they are doing something to earn you. And that's the Islamic guidance. Let them go to the parents. Marry you officially. Take you home, ready to provide for you and protect you. Now that is the respect. Make tawbah and start a new story. Don't contribute to your being disrespected. The same man, even when he marries you, chances are high he's going to disrespect you after marriage. Because he knows your worth. You don't have boundaries. Now, lastly, you try your level best to be an effective mother. An effective mother. Because when you're a good wife, effective wife, being an effective mother is also okay. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that understanding. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to the best. Don't fall under the pressures of the media, the pressures of the society and so on. Yes, dress up modestly, look good, dress up well in a more respected way, and inshallah, Allah might see you through a good life after that, because that is the assurance. But if at all you don't do that, then it might affect you in the long run. Yes, we respect you definitely. You're not disrespected as you think, but to our sad reality, it's hard to respect someone who is not respecting themselves. Yes, so that's the respect. That's the respect. It's just waiting for you to put it on. To put it on. Take it up. It's free of charge. Take it up and make sure you're a girl with boundaries. Get elevated, pass well, be a clever girl. Work upon getting that first degree. Make sure that first degree is helping you into these roles. It really makes sense in that angle. Yes, you don't want to draw a distinction between your education and your roles that you're going to enjoy. Yes, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us that understanding. Allahumma ameen. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.